Chosen one, this Sunday will not be just another date. It will not be just the closing of a month on the calendar. It will be the last day of August, marked by heaven as a seal, a portal, a point of no return. Maybe you have felt the pressure building these last days, the unusual fatigue, the sudden heaviness, the resistance that came out of nowhere. This is not failure. It is transition. It is the proof that a cycle has reached its end, and the new one is already pressing to be born. August 31st will be unforgettable because it is not simply an ending. It is the line heaven has drawn between your before and your after. The silence will break, the unseen will manifest, and your life will testify that nothing can keep you chained to what has already been completed. This is the last day of the month, but the first day of your new story. Be ready, because when Sunday ends, you will never again be the same. Chosen one, not every day carries the same weight in heaven's calendar. There are days that look ordinary in human eyes, but in the spirit, they are portals. They are turning points written long before you even took your first breath. August 31st is one of those days. It is not just the last Sunday of the month. It is the day heaven has marked as the seal of a cycle and the opening of a new one. You might think, it's just another date, just another weekend. But your spirit knows better. You've already felt it building. The strange heaviness, the pressure in the air, the fatigue that made no sense, the vivid dreams, the sudden emotions rising without explanation. None of this was random. It was preparation. It was heaven whispering, "Pay attention." This day has been written. When heaven marks a day, everything shifts. The atmosphere feels different. The heart begins to sense both closure and anticipation. And even the body reacts, because the spiritual always presses through into the physical. That is why these last days felt heavier, more intense, because you were already being pulled out of the old and drawn into the new. August has been a month of pressure. You were tested in silence. You faced resistance. You felt stretched thin. But every tear, every unanswered prayer, every moment of frustration was building toward this, the final day when God Himself would place a seal over it all. August 31st is not just the end of a month, it is the signature of heaven saying, "It is finished." Chosen one, think about this. How many times have you asked for a clear sign that your waiting was not wasted? How many times have you begged for confirmation that the promises were still alive? This Sunday is that confirmation. It is heaven saying, yes, it's done. Yes, it's sealed. Yes, it's time to step into the after. And what does it mean to carry the mark of the last day? It means that after this Sunday, you will never again be tied to what came before. The old cycles cannot drag you back. The patterns that kept repeating will be broken. The voices that whispered doubt will lose their power. Because when God seals a time, no man, no spirit, no resistance can reopen it. This last day is not only about endings, it is about openings. It is about transition. It is about the invisible line that heaven has drawn, dividing your before from your after. And once you cross it, there is no going back. That's why the battle felt so strong in these last days, because endings always shake before they close. The storm grows loud before the dawn breaks. But now, the end has come, and so has the beginning. Chosen one, I ask you, will you treat this day as common? Will you let the weight of August blind you to the gift of its ending? Or will you recognize that this Sunday is not just another sunset, but the moment heaven stamps your life with the seal of completion? When August 31st ends, you will not look back and see just another weekend. You will look back and say, that was the day God sealed the old and opened the new. That was the day my story shifted. That was the last day heaven had marked for me to remain in waiting. This Sunday will be unforgettable because it will not only close a chapter, it will etch into your soul the certainty that God has spoken, God has sealed, and God has already begun. The last day of August is the first day of the rest of your story. Chosen one, every story has chapters, and every chapter must eventually close. But in the kingdom of heaven, no cycle ends without purpose, and no new cycle begins without preparation. August 31st is not simply the last day of a month. It is the moment heaven declares, this season is complete and the new one has begun. Think of how you have walked through these last weeks. The delays, the unanswered prayers, the battles that felt repetitive, the moments where you wondered if you were stuck, living the same struggles again and again. That was not punishment. It was process. It was the cycle of preparation that shaped you, tested you, and deepened you for what is about to unfold. Cycles are necessary. In them, you were refined, you were stretched, you learned to pray when nothing changed. You learned to stand when nothing made sense. You learned to keep believing when every voice around you said to give up. And those lessons were not wasted. They were roots being planted deep inside you, roots that would hold when the winds of change finally came. Without the roots of August, you would not have the strength to stand in September. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Heaven does not waste pain. Every tear was counted. Every silence was recorded. Every disappointment was shaping you for what you could not yet see. And now the seal of heaven rests on this last day of August, declaring that the cycle has been fulfilled. The ending is not defeat. The ending is proof that you are ready for the beginning. And what does a new beginning look like? It looks like clarity after confusion. It looks like open doors after rejection. It looks like opportunities flowing where there was only dryness. It looks like sudden breakthroughs in areas you thought were forever stuck. This is the rhythm of heaven. When one cycle ends, another opens instantly, because God never leaves his chosen ones in emptiness. Look at the signs. Relationships shifting. Plans dissolving that no longer align with your destiny. Desires changing inside of you, pulling you towards something greater. These are not coincidences. They are the birth pangs of the new cycle. They are heaven's way of showing you that you no longer belong to the old chapter. So I must ask you, how will you respond to the end? Will you cling to what God has already sealed, trying to drag the old into the new? Or will you release it fully, trusting that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind? Because the beginning cannot unfold until you truly let go of the end. This Sunday is not only an ending, it is also an invitation. An invitation to step into the after. An invitation to walk into a rhythm where the promises no longer feel distant, but start to materialize before your eyes. An invitation to live as someone who knows, I survived the cycle, I endured the silence, I passed the test, and now I walk into the fulfillment. The end of a cycle is often painful. It demands closure. It demands letting go. It demands trust. But the beginning is always sweeter than the pain of release. And the sweetness of this beginning will confirm why the struggle of the old was necessary. Chosen one, do not fear the end. Celebrate it, because it is not loss. It is transition. It is not abandonment. It is alignment. And as the sun sets on this last day of August, a new dawn rises that no one can take from you. This Sunday is unforgettable because it proves that cycles are not eternal, but the promises of God are. And when one chapter closes, heaven already has the next written and waiting for you to step into it. Chosen one, when heaven completes a cycle, it always leaves signs. God never closes a chapter in silence. He makes sure you know, not through random coincidences, but through confirmations that echo in your body, your spirit, and your atmosphere. And in these final days of August, those signs have already been speaking to you. Think back carefully. Have you not felt unusual heaviness in your body? Moments where exhaustion hit you even without reason? Sudden waves of heat or chills with no explanation, dreams so vivid they lingered in your mind even after waking? Sleepless nights where your spirit felt restless, as if something was shifting in the unseen. These are not accidents, they are manifestations. They are the physical evidence that August is closing as a spiritual cycle, and heaven has declared it fulfilled. But it is not only the body that testifies. Your heart has spoken too. Some days you felt deep sadness, almost a mourning for things you couldn't name. Other days you were overcome with joy or peace that came out of nowhere. These emotional waves were not mood swings. They were indicators of transition. They were heaven, stirring your soul, helping you release what could not follow you into the next chapter, and making space for the new that is already being born. Externally, the signs have been clear as well. Perhaps relationships shifted unexpectedly. People who were once central in your life started to drift away. Projects you held on to with hope suddenly collapsed. Plans that seemed secure were cancelled or delayed. At first, it may have looked like failure, but these are not failures. They are closures. They are God's way of clearing the ground so that the next season will not be cluttered with what does not belong. Even the very atmosphere around you has been different. At times, you felt the air heavy, dense, pressing down on you. At other times, a sudden lightness filled the room, as though a weight had been lifted off your shoulders. This shifting atmosphere is another sign. It is the push and pull between what is ending and what is beginning. It is heaven announcing that August is being sealed and that September will not carry the same energy. Chosen one, haven't you said to yourself these last few days, something has to change. I can't continue like this. That cry within you was not despair. It was alignment. It was your spirit recognizing that the old cycle had reached its limit. That longing for change is one of the clearest signs that August has been fulfilled. And here is the truth. When a cycle ends, nothing fits the same anymore. The conversations that once satisfied now feel empty. The habits that once seemed normal now feel heavy. The places you once belonged now feel foreign. That is not confusion. It is confirmation. It is heaven making sure you know that you cannot remain where you were. The cycle has ended. The page has turned. So I must ask you, Will you recognize the signs for what they are? Will you see them as sacred confirmations rather than dismiss them as random? Because the danger is not that the signs aren't there, the danger is ignoring them. This Sunday, August 31st, will serve as the final proof, the culmination of every sign you've felt. The body's exhaustion, the heart's shifts, the atmosphere's changes, the breaking of patterns in your life. All of it was preparation to make sure you could not mistake this truth. August is complete, and once heaven declares something fulfilled, no one can reopen it. The weight you carried will no longer have power. The loops that kept repeating will finally break. The signs were never meant to confuse you. They were meant to awaken you, so that when you step into September, you do so with the certainty that the old cycle is closed, sealed, and behind you forever. Chosen one, the signs have been clear all along, and now you can walk confidently, knowing they were not random signals, but heaven's announcement. August has been fulfilled, and the new is ready to begin. Chosen one, there is a mystery in the way heaven works. God does not just allow cycles to drift open and shut at random. He seals them. And when heaven seals your time, it means two things at once. What needed to end can never be reopened, and what is about to begin cannot be stopped. That is the power of August 31st. It is not just the last day of the month. It is the day when heaven stamps your life with completion. It is the moment when God declares over you, this chapter is finished, this work is complete. What was heavy, what was repetitive, what was stretching you to the limit, it is done. A seal is more than a finish line. It is God's guarantee. When something is sealed in heaven, it means the enemy cannot tamper with it, people cannot undo it, and your own doubts cannot reverse it. When heaven seals, the matter is settled forever. Think about the areas of your life that have felt unresolved, relationships that ended without closure, dreams that felt suspended in the air, promises that seemed to hang over you, waiting without fulfillment. The seal of heaven comes to draw the line, to close the open doors, to settle the unfinished business. It is heaven's way of saying, enough. What needed to happen has already happened. Now, the new can begin. Chosen one, sealing is not just about closure, it is also about protection. The seal of heaven is like a covering, ensuring that what has been established in you cannot be stolen. It's like God pressing his fingerprint onto your life and declaring ownership. This one belongs to me. This one carries my mark. This one is moving forward under my decree. And here is the beautiful part. When God seals, he doesn't just shut the past, he blesses the future. The seal is a bridge between endings and beginnings. Without it, you would carry fragments of the old into the new. But with it, you walk clean, free, unchained, ready for the fullness of what's coming. You may feel this sealing in your body as a sudden release of tension, a peace that surprises you, or even tears that fall without warning. You may sense it in your mind as clarity breaking through where there was fog, or you may notice it in your spirit, a certainty rising up that says, "It is finished. I am free to move forward." These are the signs of heaven's seal resting upon you. So let me ask you, how many times have you tried to hold on to what God was already sealing shut? How many times did you try to reopen doors he had closed, only to find yourself stuck in the same patterns? This Sunday, that ends. The seal makes it final. It says, "You will not go back. You cannot return. The past cannot reclaim you." And this is why August 31st will be unforgettable, because you will know deep in your soul that the season is sealed. No enemy can drag you back. No voice can confuse you. No fear can keep you tied down. The seal is God's protection, His assurance that what has been completed is over, and what lies ahead is secure. Chosen one, this is your moment. The cycle has not only ended, it has been sealed. And once heaven seals, there is no undoing it. So step into this day with boldness, with faith, with gratitude. Because the seal is not just on time, it is on you. You carry the mark of the after. How to position yourself for the unforgettable. Chosen one, when heaven marks a day as unforgettable, the only thing left is how you choose to step into it. Because the truth is this: some will live August 31st as just another Sunday, but those who position themselves correctly will experience it as a portal, a turning point, a divine encounter. So how do you position yourself for the unforgettable? The first key is awareness. You cannot walk through this day as if it were ordinary. You must wake up with expectation, with a spiritual alertness that says, something is shifting, and I am ready to perceive it. The revelation will not come only through dramatic signs. It will also come through small details, and only those awake, watching, and sensitive will catch them. The second key is release. You cannot step into a new cycle while clinging to the old one. What God has sealed behind you cannot go with you into what He is opening ahead. That means letting go of grudges, disappointments, and attachments that no longer serve your journey. It means forgiving even when closure was never given. It means deciding in your heart, I am done carrying what does not belong to my future. The third key is alignment. Your body, your mind, and your spirit must all be tuned to the same frequency. This is why you may feel the Spirit prompting you to rest, to eat lightly, to hydrate, to quiet yourself. It's not ritual, it's alignment. Just like an instrument must be tuned to release the right sound, you must be attuned to heaven's flow so that you can perceive fully what is being released. The fourth key is declaration. Your words carry weight. What you say over yourself will either build or block the flow of this day. If you let doubt speak, you create resistance. But if you declare with faith, I am ready, I am aligned, I accept what heaven has decreed, you clear the path. Your mouth prophesies your posture. And on a day like this, your words matter more than you realize. The fifth key is protection. The unforgettable cannot be lived in distraction. If you spend this Sunday consumed by noise, drained by people who pull you down, or drowned in worry, you may miss the whispers of heaven. Position yourself by choosing silence, stillness, environments that honor the presence of God. Guard your atmosphere like a sacred space, because that is what it is. Chosen one, let me ask you directly, how will you walk through August 31st? Will you treat it as a calendar day or as a divine appointment? Will you cling to the old or release it fully to embrace the new? Will you let your mouth echo doubt or faith? Will you let distractions steal the moment or protect it as holy ground? Positioning is not about striving harder. It is about surrendering deeper. It is not about doing more. It is about aligning fully. Heaven has already decreed this day as unforgettable. Your part is to step into that decree without resistance. And here is the promise. If you position yourself rightly, you will not just see change, you will embody it. Your life will become the proof that you were awake when heaven spoke, that you were ready when the seal was placed, that you were aligned when the cycle shifted. So on this last day of August, take your place, stand ready, lift your voice in faith, guard your heart in stillness, release the old, and step boldly into the unforgettable that has already been written for you. Because this Sunday is not just closing something, it is launching you. And if you are positioned rightly, you will not miss a single drop of what heaven pours out. Chosen one, there are days that are simply lived and forgotten. And there are days that divide your story into before and after. August 31st will not be forgotten, because it has been chosen by heaven to be a turning point in your life. A turning point is not just change, it is irreversible change. It is the kind of shift that makes it impossible for you to go back to who you were, to how you thought, to the way things used to be. And this Sunday carries exactly that weight. It will mark you so deeply that even years from now, you will be able to say, that was the day everything shifted. That was the day my story took a new direction. Until now, much of your journey has been the before, the season of waiting, the prayers that felt unanswered, the inner battles that no one else saw, the resistance that tried to silence your faith. That was preparation. That was the wilderness. That was the stretching. But this Sunday begins the after. And the after is not about survival. It is about testimony. It is not about simply holding on. It is about breaking through. It is not about promises in the distance. It is about promises manifesting before your eyes. When heaven releases a turning point, it becomes impossible to tell your story without mentioning it. People will look at your life and notice the difference. They will see that before August 31st, things looked one way, and after, they look another. Even your own heart will testify that something shifted in a way that cannot be explained away as coincidence. And here is the truth. A turning point always comes with resistance before it. The pressure increases, the storms intensify, the doubts grow louder. That is because the enemy senses what is about to be released and fights hardest right before the shift. But resistance is not a sign that you failed. It is the proof that you are on the edge of breakthrough. Chosen one, think of all the nights you cried out for God to give you one moment, one undeniable mark in your journey. This Sunday is that mark. This is the day you will look back on when doubt tries to creep in again. You will remember. That was the day the silence broke. That was the day the cycle sealed. That was the day heaven turned my story. Let me ask you, are you ready to stop living in the before? Are you willing to let go of the comfort of old patterns to embrace the new direction of the after? Because a turning point demands choice. You cannot carry the old into the shift. To step into the after, you must leave behind what no longer belongs. This Sunday is unforgettable because it is not just another end. It is a launch. It is God putting His hand on your story and saying, this is the line. Everything before was process. Everything after is fulfillment. And when God draws a line, no man can erase it. From this day forward, your life will carry two testimonies: who you were before the turning point and who you became after. The difference will be undeniable, and all of it will testify that God himself marked August 31st as the day everything shifted. Chosen one, as August 31st comes to a close, something greater than just the end of a month takes place. This day is the moment heaven places a seal on your life, the seal of the after. It is the divine mark that says, the old can no longer hold you. The cycle is complete. The new is already in motion. To carry the seal of the after means you will no longer live chained to the echoes of what was. The pain of yesterday loses its grip. The delays of the past lose their authority. The patterns that repeated again and again finally break. The seal declares that what belonged to the old season cannot follow you into the new. And this seal is not abstract. It is real, and you will feel it. Some of you will feel peace so heavy it makes no sense. Some will weep without fully knowing why. But the tears will be release, washing away the residue of what is done. Some will sense a sudden lightness, as if years of weight have been lifted off your shoulders. That is the evidence of the seal resting on you. For years you prayed for signs. For months you asked God for confirmation. For weeks you cried, wondering if the waiting would ever end. And now heaven answers not with just a whisper, but with a mark. Because when God seals, the matter is finished. The questions lose their power. The doubts collapse under the weight of certainty. You carry the imprint of God's decree. It is done. It is finished. Step into the after. And here is the most powerful truth. This seal is not only for you. Others will see it. Those who doubted you will notice the shift. Those who mocked you will sense the change. Even those who walked away will realize you have been marked. Your life itself becomes evidence that heaven's word cannot fail. You are no longer just holding on to promises. You have become the testimony. So let me ask you, will you live as someone who still clings to the before, or as someone sealed for the after? Will you hide the mark, or will you stand boldly and declare, I am proof. I am the living evidence that God fulfills what he speaks. Chosen one, August 31st, is unforgettable because it is not just a date. It is a line drawn by heaven. On one side is the struggle, the silence, the waiting. On the other side is the fulfillment, the manifestation, the undeniable. And now the seal ensures that nothing, not fear, not doubt, not resistance, can drag you back across that line. From this day forward, whenever the enemy tries to whisper that nothing has changed, you will remember, I was sealed on the last day of August. I felt it. I lived it. I carry the after within me. And no power in heaven or on earth can erase that truth. Chosen one, the seal of the after is on your life. And from now on, your story will never again be told without it.